Welcome back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle, and today is the last video of 2024, or at least the last card video. I'm working on something else. I don't know if I'm going to put it up at the very end of 2024 or if I'm going to save it for January. I haven't decided yet, but so we're just going to say this is the last video of 2024. I can't believe we're already at this point that I'm getting ready to go on holiday break for December. Anyway, we're going to talk about the card now, because this video goes pretty quickly, but they're pretty easy cards. Thought I'd leave you with something nice and simple for this year, but something really fun. So we are getting 2-for-1 cards today, and well, not really, because we don't really make the cards out of the same pieces, so it's not really 2-for-1, but we're using the same stencil on each card. So this is a stencil from MFT. It's, I forget the actual name of it, but it's like watercolor wash freeform or something like that. And I'm just doing some really simple ink blending here, just one color, nothing super exciting, very boring, I guess, but it's gonna give me the vibes I was going for. So this stencil comes with two pieces. It has this piece of this part of the stencil that I'm using now that you sort of fill in the middle, and then it also has the mask part of the stencil, so like basically the piece that's cut out. Gina K has a couple stencils like this. Tailored Expressions has a few. I think MFT may have a few other shapes as well of these sort of like masking style stencils, and it's really cool because you get the extra piece with them, and that's just really, really fun. So I've just stenciled out this piece, and we're going to use the other piece in a little bit, and I have a little story about that card that I'll kind of go over in a couple seconds / minutes here. So I am going to do some silhouette stamping on top of my little ink blended panel that I have there, because I thought that would be really pretty. But I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I had wanted to use the dark spruce ink from Gina K Designs rather than just doing it in black, because I thought it would be just something a little bit different. And I have the dark green Christmas pine card base going on, and I thought it would be fun to bring in a little bit more of the green. So that was my first greeting choice. I thought I cut that out, but I didn't. Real quick there, you saw my first greeting choice, which was a foiled sentiment, but I ended up realizing really quickly that it was too big, and I needed to come up with something else. And at one point I was also going to make this a sympathy card, but then I was like, I hadn't decided on making the second card for this video yet, and I was like, I don't want to leave this here on a sympathy card. Like, that just feels like the wrong way to like end a year of videos. So I decided to make it a birthday card, and I thought I was going to be really, really smart and stamp both stamps at the same time, because it looked like they were going to fit together very nicely. But I shouldn't have done that, because I could have, we'll see when I finish stamping it here, that I could have tucked my greeting in a little bit more than I did. It still looks great. It's still fine, but I just want to like nudge it a little bit closer to the flower, and I had it. And it's an actual physical paper crafting project and not a digital project, so I can't just like click on it and nudge it over. But you know what? It still comes out good. That greeting still fits very nicely in there, and it works out really well. And I like it with the dark green instead of the black too, which is a little bit different. Black is always great for silhouette stamping, but don't be afraid to play with like your other dark colors as well. You can have some fun with lighter colors as well. There's different techniques and stuff you can do with silhouettes with lighter colors, but when you're going for just like that real solid like silhouette image, definitely stick to your darker colors. Just makes life a little bit easier. So that was that card. Like I said, pretty easy. I'm just going to start putting it together here, and while I'm putting it together, I'm going to start telling you the story about the second card. So as I was pulling out this card, and I had that idea to do the card I'm finishing here, and I was looking at the mask piece of the stencil and was like, wow, this would be really cool if you had like a large greeting stamp that you wanted to feature. I have a few of those and thought it would be something I'd come back to later at a different time. But I have a cousin who really, really likes to watch my videos, and a couple weeks ago he texted me and was like, hey, I was at my state fair, because he lives in a different state than I do, and I saw some really cool cards, and you had mentioned in your video the other day that you were like looking for inspiration. So he texted me the pictures of the cards that he saw at his Stay Fair. And you're going to see the one that inspired this card in just a minute. But I wasn't really planning on going this. I was going to save those and do them in a different video, but the inspiration all kind of, and products and everything all kind of came together at the right moment to make this be the moment to do it. So thanks, Graham, because I know you're watching this, and hi, Brooke, because I'm sure you're watching this with him. So I'm just doing basically the reverse of what we did earlier. So I've used some just Post-it tape that I like folded in half, like rolled around itself, to hold that down. So I'm still having to hold it down a little bit because the tape's not holding it down super well. But there needs to be something for it to stick to so that it doesn't move around while I'm doing all of the ink blending on the outside. So I am just it's helping me hold it down so my fingers don't accidentally shift it around, but I'm also using my fingers to hold it down as well, just because extra security. So I'm just inking all around it, and then when I pull the mask up, it's going to leave the centerpiece all white. So here's the card that inspired this one. So this card is hand lettered, the one that he sent me. I cannot do that. I've tried to teach myself. I've tried to have friends who are very good at it teach me, and it was just not my jam. And again, probably one of those things that if I really put the time and energy into practicing it, I probably could get somewhere, but that day is not today. So I had told Grandma I thought it would be really fun. That card would look really pretty as like a hot foil plate. But I didn't have a hot foil plate that matched that either, but I was going through my stamps and I found this old Gina K design stamp set, and it had this Christmas tree in it. This one was actually designed by another really good friend of mine, but like I said, it's no longer available. It's retired, and she's no longer drawing and doing stamps for them. But I was like, okay, this is the stamp set that is gonna get me to that card, and I was gonna save this video for next year, and use that card for a Christmas card like next fall. But the moment was right, and I decided a Christmas card would be a great way to end the year, especially because you'll be watching this the last day of November, post Thanksgiving, heading into Christmas season for realsies, and yeah, I just thought it would be fun. So he also let me know that the card he saw in real life, because I couldn't really tell from the picture, was kind of a sparkly metallic. So then how do I get a sparkly metallic situation as a stamper? Heat embossing. So I'm heat embossing it in gold. It would have been, if I would have had like a red sparkly embossing powder, that would have been really nice, but I don't have that. So I just went with gold because that'll work just fine. One thing to remember, because I didn't really get a chance to talk about it earlier, is when you have a big ink blended panel like that and you're heat embossing, make sure you really hit it with the anti-static powders, because that is going to be really sticky otherwise, or let it dry for a long time. I think I actually let mine dry for about an hour before I came back and did the heat embossing, because otherwise it's all going to stick to the ink. You can also hit it, like heat set it with your heat gun to get it a little less wet, so that your embossing powder doesn't stick to everything, but it helps a lot taking all of those steps. So I decided I wasn't quite done yet, so I got out one of my splatter boxes. I have a few, and my splatter boxes are just old packaging. This is an old Gina K kit box. The other one is an old box I got from an order that just worked really well for this kind of thing. And I got out my Gina K Gold Glimmer Mists, and I just put the mask back on, taped it back on, and then sprayed the Glimmer Mist over it to just add some fun little gold sparkles to the background. This one corner, the bottom right hand corner, got like no sparkles on it, and I didn't notice it until kind of later. So I was like, oh, oops. But it's okay. It worked out. It's fine. But it is missing a little bits of sparkle in the corner. I just don't think I sprayed it well enough. The other thing just like to remember with those sprays, because I do this sometimes, I always spray them standing up too. I leave the box on the table and like stand up with the spray, because it makes the drops a little bit thinner. The closer you get to the paper, the bigger your sparkle drops are going to be. So just little tips on that. And that is it. That is the end of Sam's Crafty Castle videos for 2024. And I thank you guys so much for watching over the last year. Please go back and watch other videos if you feel so inclined. I will be back the first Saturday in January as the plan. And I hope you guys have a great holiday season and all of that stuff. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you again soon. And have a crafty day.